Hi, this is Jenny, and this is part 4 of MailChimp, and we are picking up at the end of part 3. We are now in the design stage of sending out an email campaign, and so in part 3 we replicated a previous campaign and now we are updating it. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to be updating in one of our newsletters is going to be the date of the newsletter. And so in MailChimp, in the newsletter, in any campaign, it's made up of individual blocks. So we want to go up to the block that we want to update and go ahead and click on that. And it opens up a menu on the right where we can update text and other things about the block. So looking at this particular block, let's just kind of look at how it's set up. So the content in the block, we can see that it says newsletter March, April. We're not seeing the other content because if we come over here to settings, and this is just for this block, we can see that it is a 2-column block. So that can be changed here to 2 columns or 1 column, and the columns can be split as you can see in different ways. So this is a 2-column block with I guess 3/4 or 2/3 in the of width is the left column. So then if we go back to the content, we see that we're looking right now at the content in column 2. If we wanted to change the content in column 1, we would click here, and there we see our Kappa Alpha Theta logo. So we're going to go back to column 2, and we want to update the date of this newsletter. So we'll just go ahead and backspace and then add in the new date. Okay, and at this point we could go ahead and save and close, but I'll just point out a couple of things here. Of course, it's just like any kind of an editing thing. Right now it's in bold. You can change bold, italic, underline. You can change the text color. You can highlight it, all kinds of things. So anyway, you can also update it to justify differently. So right now it's right justified. You can see that here. You can even use spell check. So we've looked at content of column 2. We've looked at the settings for the block. We can also look at, we can set style for the block, and you can change globally just for this block. You can change the text and the font size and the line height, which is at 1.5 for this block. And then if you want to apply changes to all existing blocks, you can check here. But we're going to keep the same style settings, and style settings are overridden by content settings. So in other words, you might have Arial 11 point here, but then you can override that here when you highlight text, and you can change it to anything. So that's kind of the quick and dirty on blocks. So we're going to go ahead and save and close that block. Okay. Then we have this line here. I will go ahead and click on that, and it's just a divider. And you can add and delete dividers. You can replicate a divider. Okay, so now we'll save that, and we just replicated a divider, and then you can drag it to anywhere you want in the document and in the campaign. So let's just try that again. Okay, so I just dragged it here, and I can drag it up here, or I can go ahead and delete it. And I'm deleting a content block. They call it a content block. It's a divider, so we'll go delete. So so you can add all kinds of things into your newsletter. So you can add a boxed text. And so it will, you put your content in here. Let's just say sample text. Don't worry about my typing here. Okay, that's not so great, but we'll just say save and close. And now we have a boxed text. And of course, we can go into the box and we can change things like the color of the text, the color of the background, all kinds of things. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that text block. You can insert dividers. You can insert images. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. You can insert social media share buttons, a button that leads to another place. You can embed code. You can insert videos. So that's what's going on with that. So we're not going to insert any new content anywhere, but just so you know, you can insert it anywhere. Let's just say we were going to insert, I don't know, an image. We'll drag it over here. Oops, try that again. Okay, and that's where we would upload an image. We'll talk about that in a minute. And we can change the settings for our image. We can align it center, or we can change the margins, that type of thing. And if we were to save it, this is where we would drag an image. And then we can take this block again and move it anywhere we want it into the document. So that's how that works. I'm going to go ahead and delete the image block we just created and go ahead and confirm. So now we're back to where we started. The only thing we have changed from the previous newsletter is the date. And then we just kind of scroll down, and a lot of this, some of the headings you may want to keep. So there was a president's message, and you might want to just keep that, but then change the text, obviously. So if we click on that, we can go ahead and just cut all of that, and then we can either have something that has been pasted to our clipboard, or we can type in, you know, new message from the president, and we would save it. Okay, so that's what we would do there. Okay, so here's a section that maybe we don't want to replicate. We've already listed our new officers, so we might want to put something different here. So we can go ahead and go into this block, edit the block, and maybe we're going to have a feature about, oh gosh, a new fraternity program. I don't know, something, Theta Traveler, okay. And so maybe it's something that we're going to communicate from the website. So now we have a new heading, and we can replace this text, and then maybe we don't want this grid at all, so we can go ahead and delete it. Okay, and so we would have updated this, and then we have something new from Night Kites perhaps, so we would leave this heading, and we could go ahead and again edit this block. So this particular block, if we go into settings, we can see that this was added as an image and caption block, with the caption on the left and the caption width at 2/3 and one image. We could change that and have the caption, meaning the words, on the top, or we can have it on the bottom, and then we can go into, you know, all kinds of different things. So we can go back to this image, we can replace it with a different image, we can edit the image, and if we want to make it larger or smaller, we can resize the image. So it's set at a width of 308. If we were to set it at 125, it keeps the, it'll adjust the height so that it's, it keeps the dimensions working with each other. Go ahead and apply. We'll save it. And we can see that our kite now is smaller and we have positioned it at the top. So you will have fun, but it is a bit of a learning curve, but you will just learn how to do all of this. So this is an example again of, I went in here and I changed the text color to something different. Maybe we want to go with that next time, and we would obviously be updating. Okay, so then this also shows an example of links. So if I were to click on here, we can see that we have a link to an email address, which it can link to web addresses, email addresses, anchor something in our document, or to a file. So this is going to an email address of Jeannie Roselle. I also added in here, if somebody clicks on here, it'll automatically fill the email subject. You can leave this blank if you want, but the important thing is that it has Jeannie Roselle's email address, so somebody can click on there. We'll go ahead and just cancel our changes. Somebody can click on there and send an email to Jeannie or Judy if they want to go to the Night Kites event. Just continuing down our newsletter. This is an example. This block, going into settings again, is just a single image. And it's so this was prepared outside of MailChimp and then saved as a JPEG or a PNG file, and then it was uploaded as an image and placed here. So we'll go back out of here, and then here's another block which is just text, and here's another image that was brought in, that was prepared outside of MailChimp, more text. Okay, so then we get down to member information, and I am going to save this for a separate video. It's going to be video number 5, and it's going to be about merge tags. So we will not look at that right now. That is a different area that you'll become expert in. And then we have a button here. So that is another kind of content that can be put in here. Here's a button. So that was dragged in here. And a button, we can go ahead and look at that right now. So a button is a link to somewhere else. So you give your button some text. So this button text is pay 2016 dues now. We could update it and just say pay 2016 dues. Okay. And then we're going to a web address, and the web address is actually the membership payment page on our Kappa Alpha Theta website. So that's where that's going. And the button style, we can change the background. It's got a gold background and it's got a border of 2 points. Width, we could change that to 5, and it would be a little thicker. Going back into edit and style, we can change the color of the text. We could have it be black, and that looks like that. So when we go into edit, a button or any kind of text field, we always get these 3 things. We get the content, which is what's written in it. We can update things about the style, which is font weight and letter spacing and all kinds of things like that. Borders, if it's a button, and then settings tells us if it's going to be aligned and the width. So like for instance, we could align that left and put it if we wanted to, so we'll keep it at center. Okay, so that's how a button works. And I am going to end this video now and pick up in part 5 where I will talk about these social media buttons and also how to insert or replace a photo image or any kind of image into the campaign. So I will see you in part 5. Thanks for watching.